Can you identify hypotheses in ACT Science passages? Have you ever wondered if you can spot hypotheses in ACT Science passages? This skill is essential for your success on the test, so let's break it down. Yes, you can identify hypotheses, especially in research summary and conflicting viewpoints passages. A hypothesis is a proposed explanation or prediction that the experiment aims to test. Recognizing these hypotheses is key because many questions ask you to understand what the experiment is trying to prove or investigate. In research summary passages, which make up about half of the ACT Science section, you will often find a hypothesis stated as an expected outcome or assumption before the experiment begins. Your job is to identify this hypothesis to grasp the purpose of the research and how the experiment tests it. This understanding helps you answer questions about the experiment's design, variables, and conclusions. When you encounter conflicting viewpoints passages, you will see hypotheses represented as different scientists' interpretations or theories about a scientific question. In these cases, you will need to compare and contrast these hypotheses and understand how each scientist explains the results differently. To effectively identify hypotheses in ACT Science passages, focus on the introductory sentences of the experiment or research description. This is where the hypothesis is often stated or implied. Look for statements that suggest a prediction or assumption about what will happen during the experiment. Pay attention to key terms like hypothesis, assume, predict, or expect. If the hypothesis is not explicitly labeled, use the passage's context and experimental setup to infer it. Remember that hypotheses relate to the independent variable, which is the factor changed, and the expected effect on the dependent variable, which is the outcome measured. For 11th grade students preparing for the ACT, practicing this skill can ease the challenge of the science section. Skimming the passage to locate the hypothesis quickly before answering questions helps you manage your time and focus on what the experiment is testing. Understanding hypotheses also supports interpreting data and drawing conclusions, which are common question types. You can identify hypotheses in ACT Science passages by looking for statements about expected outcomes or scientific questions being tested. Recognizing these will help you navigate the research summaries and conflicting viewpoints passages more confidently during your junior year ACT preparation.